Good evening. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday afternoon. I just wanted to bring you a little thought for this evening, a couple of matters to keep in mind. We will continue to be online until August the 22nd. We will be out for this coming Wednesday, but Gary Hampton will have another lesson for us, Lord willing. It will be on Titus, or a lesson from the book of Titus in our Life Lessons from the Apostle Paul series. So I'm looking forward to that. If you remember, I told you Gary was the director of the East Tennessee School of Preaching, which is now Southeast Institute of Biblical Studies when I started there, and I had him for those classes that covered 1st and 2nd Timothy and Titus. So I'm sure that he'll have another good lesson for us this week, and I'm excited. So be looking for that to be coming to your email and to be posted on Facebook here in a few days. And then, Lord willing, we'll be back in on Sunday, August the 22nd. Now, if something were to change with that, we will get the message out. We'll send emails, phone trees, and all those kind of things as we normally do. Just remember to keep in mind those of our sick that have been fighting off the COVID virus. Keep those people in mind. Keep our brother Tommy Stevens in mind with his health issues. And so keep those people in mind. Keep an eye on the prayer list. Keep an eye out for emails. If we have updates, we'll be sending emails out. So those are things that you need to keep in mind to be looking for. Lord willing, some of us will be back in the office. I plan to be back in the office at least by Tuesday of this week. And I think Sharon will be out of quarantine and ready to go as well. So we should be back in the office this coming up week. So if you need anything, just get in touch with us, and we'll try to help to figure that out and get it done if at all possible. Now, as far as the devotional thought goes for this evening, as when I put this jacket on this morning, I stuck my hand in one of the pockets and found this knife in there. And I don't have any shortage. I've got, as with many other things, I've got too many. But this is one that I often pack in my pocket because it's just a little small knife, and you know, if I need to open a package or whatever, I've got that with me to cut a tag off, you know, all those kind of things that might be going on. But this one had been missing for quite some time, and I really had no idea where it was at, but stuck my hand in my pocket, and there it was. And so it's interesting, you know, sometimes where we find treasures. And that reminds me of an article that I read some time back. And that article was written by Brett Petrillo. I'm going to share with you some thoughts from that for our devotional thought for this evening, and add in some verses and things. So this is how it goes. And it's hard to know. I didn't put the date on this as to when he wrote this article. I guess I could go back and perhaps maybe be able to find it. But it's related to some California wildfires, and we know that could be just about any year. But nonetheless, it says California's forests have been severely devastated by the forest fires lately. In a week's time, they have scorched nearly 160,000 acres and displaced 190,000 people. As we speak, 5,700 firefighters are diligently working to contain the damage. Unfortunately, dry air and strong winds are making this especially difficult. However, even in the midst of all that destruction, a heartwarming story has come to surface, and he was taking this from CNN. Don and Julie Myers are one of the families who have lost their home in the fires. After the fire passed, it left a little bit of ash and rubble behind. The Myers returned home to see what could be salvaged. Incredibly, as they sifted through the ash, a glimmering object stood out. It was his wife's long-lost original wedding ring. Seizing the moment, Don brought the ring over to his wife, dropped to one knee, and proposed to her all over again. Now, it's easy to let difficulty bring us down. It takes someone truly special to look past the ashes and see what's valuable and important. For the Myers family, their house was lost, but their marriage wasn't. They still had each other. They still had a home, no matter where their next house would be. Now, we talked about Paul this morning in our lesson, his thorn in the flesh, and we know that Paul was a man that he was able to find something good in, no doubt, the ashes. He could find something good in the worst of situations and figure out a way to turn it around and to make something good of it. It's hard to know what the future holds for us. It could be disease, it could be COVID, it could be cancer, it could be financial difficulty, it could be loss of a job. It could be the splitting up of a marriage. It could be family problems, death, even death, yes. And when the fires of tribulation set our world ablaze, let's just try to keep in mind what's truly important. It's hard for us to know which of these things are going to hit us, but the thing that we can know is the promises that God has made for us. Let me just give you some verses to consider. Even if we become sick, our souls can be the picture of good health. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 16. Even if we lose our family, we are still a part of God's family. Galatians 3, 26 through 29. Even if our government becomes completely corrupt, we are still a part of God's kingdom, and that's the one that matters. Colossians 1, 13 and 14. Even if our home is destroyed, we have a home that's waiting for us in heaven. 1 Thessalonians 4, 16 and 17. Philippians chapter 3 and verse 20. Even if our life is lost, our soul will go on to the reward. Philippians chapter 1 and verse 21. So as you go out into this next week, the next few weeks, the next months, the next years, be aware there's no doubt you're going to face trials, you're going to face tribulations. And my challenge is to you, when you face those trials, when you face those tribulations, go to God in prayer. Open up the Bible. Start to go back and look at some of these promises. Find a way to make something good out of whatever situation has come your way. And there's no doubt your life will be better here on earth. And if you follow God and keep His commandments, certainly your life will be better in the next, because all those promises will be waiting for you. And whatever the worst possible thing imaginable that could happen to you in this life, at some point it's going to come to an end. And if you followed God and been faithful, you're going to have a beautiful, wonderful home waiting for you where all the bad things have been done away with. And that is a blessing that's truly going to be worth it all. So no matter what this life throws at you, you've got something good waiting for you if you've got God on your side. Take these thoughts with you as you go into the rest of your life. Make yourself a servant of God just like Paul did. Find a way to find treasure in the ashes. Thank you once again for watching with us, and I pray that you have a blessed week.